Hello, everybody. This is Baruti Call Alexander again, and this is the 21st episode of Minding Our Mental Wellness, political edition. And I have a candidate with me, and we're going to discuss some of the politics in America as well as in our locale, which is Houston, Texas. So I thank you all out there in Facebook land who are joining us and across the city of Houston. Uh, I welcome her. First question is
And
District,
Harris County.
ma'am,
I said, and Harris County.
and Harris County, of which Houston is a part. And
Absolutely,
my first
absolutely.
question is, what does the district clerk do, and why do you want to do that?
Okay, awesome. Well, again, I want to say thank you for thinking of me to bring me on the show. I really, really appreciate it. It means a lot that you care about my input for the people of Houston and Harris County. So, what does the clerk's office do? I'm glad you asked that question because I think the district clerk's office is often overlooked. Basically, as far as its its uh, duties. Excuse me, trying to find the right words. So the district clerk handles paperwork that you need to go to court. So if someone sues you or you sue someone, the district clerk houses that paperwork. So it's like a filing system, if you will, a fancy filing system. Because back in the day, that's what they did. They were like, okay, we need to sue this person. And they took their documents down to the county seat and then they filed them away for a later time. In addition, they take those files and they create a docket for the judges. And then the judges are able to, they're assigned those cases and they're able to hear your case basically and render judgment if there's a judge trial or there's a trial by jury. Excuse me. Next, the district clerk is handles jury duty. So it's a randomized process, but handles everything with jury notices going out. When the people come in, they handle that as well. They get them moved from place to place or court to court. They also provide lunch for people when they come in for jury duty. And last but not least, the district clerk handles passport processing. So that's kind of like a little side item. And Houston does, Harris County, excuse me, Fort Bend County does, but not all district clerks handle passport processing. So that's just an
Yes, ma'am.
FYI. And some things on the back end. So that's what the public sees and they can know. But the district clerk is like all things justice here in Houston, Harris County, right? Because they handle probation records and jail records and things of that nature as well.
Okay. I think a lot of people get confused. I know that there's district judges, there's municipal judges, which are associated with the city, district judges are associated with the county, and you are going for the Harris County District Clerk, which works under the judicial system of the county.
Correct.
All right. And a lot of people get confused the county, the city, and so
Mm-hmm.
we clarifying it is for the county, it's for Harris County. And
Correct.
is that something you like to do? Is that a part of the background that you prepared for? How did you arrive at that is the position you wanted to get?
Well, I'm glad you asked that as well. So I've always wanted to run for an office, elected position to represent the people of wherever I lived. I've lived here. I've lived a couple of places, Washington, D.C., Chicago, and it just was not the time. Although I've helped other people on their campaigns in different capacities, like volunteer coordinator, um, campaign manager here in Houston, and school board. I've helped some people. So now I think it was the right timing. Maryland vacated her seat or what have you. And for my personal life, it was just really the right time. My youngest son is 15, so I don't have to spend as much time with him. My mom passed in 2022, so I don't have that added responsibility as well. In addition to my personal life, my professional life, I think this was just a great next step, right? It kind of has the best of both worlds. It has the political aspect, which really, in all true and fairness, it could be a bipartisan seat. It really didn't have to be a partisan thing. I think it would really serve the county well if it was not partisan. But anywho, that's how we do it here in Texas, right? But so I have a background in computer science from the Prairie View A&M University. I also have a master's in education from the University of St. Thomas, both schools here locally to the Houston area. And then I have hours in MBA, and I have some other like a nonprofit certificate. So all of those different areas I've worked in and managed, what have you. The district clerk runs a lot on software, as most places agencies do nowadays. And so I think that I am more than able and capable to handle what is going on at the district clerk's office. It's 500 plus employees. I've managed usually about 250 to maybe 400 employees. So I think maybe 50, 75 more I should be able to handle.
Yes, ma'am.
As
Yes,
well as
ma'am.
the
Um,
past, I
of
can
course, it's a big job anytime you're dealing with a large area such as Houston, Texas,
yeah,
Harris County, which encompasses several million people, I believe.
absolutely 4.8.
It's a very important job, and it's a big challenge. And I know you're looking forward to that possibility, and we want you to have best success in your campaign. Uh, Question:
Yes.
mental health and unemployment are a big problem, probably in all municipalities, but I'm aware of the problems here in Houston. What do you feel about that? I know maybe your role as district clerk may not cover all of that, or it might. What is your comment on that?
Well, mental health is very near and dear to me because I believe it's one of those overlooked things. So, as a teacher, I've been a computer programmer. I've been a lot of things to a lot of people in professions, but I've been a computer programmer and a project manager. I've also been a teacher and an educator administrator too. And so I was going to say, like gifted and talented, right? Like we know the bad kids or whatever. And I think that term is used loosely because some of those kids are gifted and talented. They just are bored, right? And so I say like gifted and talented is often overlooked or maybe misdiagnosed, correct? Because as we see in public display, most criminal justice organizations don't understand what happens mentally when we have a break. I mean, we also have medical professionals, but everybody is different, right? So I don't know if they really have a whole grasp of it, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I think that when you commit, most people, when they commit a crime or murder, I'll say murder. I won't even say generalize it with a crime, but murder, most people are not in their right mind. Something in them snaps, and they are mentally insane for whatever that minute is. I mean, definitely if it's a crime of passion, you walk in on somebody with your spouse and you going ballistic. You like, what the hell is going on? And so I believe in that moment, most people, even unless it was premeditated, most people are mentally insane in that point because they have just snapped and gone to a different place. So anyway, with that said, it's often misdiagnosed or it's often missed altogether, especially in the Black community. A lot of people want to pray some things away. And I think it's a combination of that. It's prayer and it's also doing the work, doing the mental health. Sometimes just with, I know I suffer with some hormone things as a woman and just as a female, woman and a Black person, whatever, because I have a different genetic makeup than a Caucasian person or than a Hispanic person or an Asian person, right? I mean, we all say we are part of the human race and we bleed when you prick us. That's correct. But we all have a different genetic makeup just from those categories, right? Try to, mix it up and all kind of variations. So sometimes there's a hormonal deficiency, and that may take some medicine. You know what I mean? That may take, in addition to psychotherapy, it just takes some real work. And it just depends on the person. And so it's hard to, it's here in Houston. I'll say that where it's people, it's there. Again, it's just misdiagnosed or it's not diagnosed altogether.
I just want to add in Houston, Harris Health is a big part of the mental health program in the county. Harris Health, and there's a lot of young people, especially young Black men, who are involved in that, and probably in every major city. And I'm sure I don't know whether the district judges handle that, but I do know some family judges and municipal judges handle that, and it's a part of the county system. So we do have a pretty good mental health program here in Harris County. I have had some dealings with it, not personally, but vicariously. And I look forward to having somebody in there who can impact and I could touch base with. And being a part of a mental health kind of nonprofit organization is something that's very near and dear to me. Now, another question is the climate that we are in now in America. A lot of people are afraid. A lot of people have deep anxiety because of things that our president and his administration are doing. What is your comment on that? How can you reassure some of your voters that everything's going to be all right?
Well, you're absolutely correct, and everyone from all socioeconomic parts of society, correct, are, they're in a daze, shocked and appalled, and then scared and trying not to go crazy or whatever, or depressed, all of the mental illnesses that, we can occur from time to time. So, it's a real thing. These are real things that are actually happening. A couple, I believe they're saying, I just said this today, some people said or thought that fat meat wasn't greasy, right? Because these are not new things. These are things that were said were going to happen if he was elected. And he got elected. So, there's a cause and effect. If and then it's happening. So don't be surprised. But what happened was that these people thought that it was not going to affect them. They didn't realize that they're a part of the government that he was talking about, or that he was a part of the what do you call it? DEI that they were talking about. It was okay if it was just affecting Black and brown people, but no, it's affecting you too, honey. So I think that's where people got caught off guard. But nonetheless, it is happening, and I just believe just take your time, seek some help. We have churches and mental professionals, like you're mentioning, as well as that are in the private sector. But we do have a great Harris Health. Get your gold card, whatever it takes to make sure that you are okay and you're able to provide for your family if you have a family, and provide for yourself. It's okay. Because this is what I tell my sons about taking tests or anything. Nobody knows what you're doing on a test but you. You're not broadcasting and everything. You don't have to broadcast it to everyone. You got to do what you need to do to take care of you and for you to be okay and of sound mind. Because, the old people, you say, oh, I'm in my sound, wake up and in my right mind, and I think we didn't know what that meant as young children, but as I get older, I'm like, oh no, that was right on point because there's a lot of stuff that can take you out of your character and take you out of your mind that we thank God every day that He has kept us.
Yes, it's a lot more stressful. You know, I always tell the story when my dad was coming up, back in the 20s, 40s, 1920s, 40s, that was a whole different world. Then when I went to school and I was a young man, it was a different world. The internet was just starting at that time. It didn't impact our life. Uh, we had to use pagers.
Yeah.
The young people don't even know what pages are probably. So all these little different things have impacted life. The young people, they look at the internet and, if it's not something that catch their interest in 4 seconds, maybe they move on. But also, a lot of their world is built on social networking. They build relationships. That's how they get their news on the internet. So all of these impacts and changes are things that we have to adjust to. How would you tell a parent who's having difficulty impacting or talking to their child and dealing with peer pressure? How would you encourage that parent to share with their child everything's going to be all right and this is the best road to go following your campaign?
Okay, awesome. I want to just, because I don't know if I addressed everything that you previously asked, just really quick, because I said some things are happening, but I didn't go into it. But I want to address the education crisis. I do want to address the food crisis. I want to address or acknowledge that those things are going on. I said, what did I say? Food and money,
Education.
jobs. There's a crisis there because people are not, getting gainfully employed. Now, hopefully, that leads to innovation and more own businesses and things like that, which is kind of the backbone of America. Besides, the backs of Black people. But anywho,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, I would just think I'm just a big proponent. Like I said, my office would not necessarily deal with mental health and these things that are affecting people personally in a way, right? Because now, as I'm saying that, I think that dealing with people and other people, affects your psyche and your mental capacity. And that would be coming to the office and dealing with the customer service reps or what have you. So in my line of work, I would like to just make sure that the customer service is friendly and that it is knowledgeable so that when people come up and ask questions, it's not a nasty attitude and people don't leave they leave worse than when they came there, either in emotional being, physically, they don't get what they need. And that's some feedback that I've received as well. So when I get in there, the teacher part of me, we want to make sure we have some training that we're sensitive to the needs of people, not babying or whatever, because I think that's a lot goes on and that might be just a generation that's coming up.
Can
But
I interject?
sure.
Did you invite another person to come on named Rondalyn Beatty?
I posted it on Facebook, so maybe they're trying to check it out. I didn't know. Oh, you must be closed. Are you closing it?
Uh, but obviously she has the code. So do you want me to let her in?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Well, we're going to have a good conversation.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, we were talking about education, we're talking about food, we're talking about jobs. Very much three things that impact communities. So continue your comment that you were sharing.
So I was saying indirectly, we would think that the district clerk office does not affect mental health, but then I thought about it and I said, well, indirectly, right? Because interacting with people and in situations, and if you go into a place where you're expecting one thing and you don't get what you expect, that could be very frustrating and cause some mental issues. So, like I said, at the clerk's office, we want to make sure that we would be servicing those needs of people in an effective and efficient manner. The other thing would be is like I was going to say about the teaching. So one of my things I would like to concentrate on is accessibility for all. So if you're filing pro se, and I've had an attorney and I've filed pro se as well. So I've done both. And it can be a little daunting. One, because I'm, just not being a legal professional, but you might not can afford it all the time, or it's like, oh, I don't want to say do a better job, but you're like, I know what's going on with my situation, and I can maybe explain it a little better. And so, for whatever reason, you decide to represent yourself, as well as new attorneys. I've also heard that new attorneys often struggle with using the online system. So we want to just make sure maybe it's a class quarterly or every other month where we can provide information and teaching people how to use the online services. So that's what it's all about, teaching and reaching out. And then also maybe providing services for people who may not have the access. So say, for instance, you need to file pro se, but you don't have a computer or you don't have the internet, making sure people know they can go to the library, or maybe there's some other community resources like the Shape Center or things like that, where you can use those resources and get the Wi-Fi. Or just letting people know, hey, there's an Xfinity service where if you get federal services like SNAP or TANF, your internet is $30 a month. You have to prove that you're receiving those services, but just letting the public know there is help to do whatever it is that they need to do.
Yes, ma'am. So would this be your first elected position if you win the campaign?
Yes, when I win, it will be my first elected position.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. There's a lot of other campaigns going on, as you know.
Mhm.
State representative. Uh, I believe we just had a Congress position. I'm not sure who won out of Christian Menifee and Amanda Edwards. Are you aware of those other campaigns? And are you involved in any other campaigns?
So Christian and Amanda do not run, or their election is not until January 31st. So
Okay.
runoff election. I was hoping that they would go ahead and do it December 13th. That's when city of Houston, had to run off. But anyway, we know who's in charge up in Austin. So just want to make it confusing because, just voted last month. We're going to vote this month. And after voting last month, then early voting ballots had to go out and all of that stuff. And they're going to be voting on the 31st, but early voting ballots for our military ballots, people who get ballots by mail will go out for our race in March this week, actually. So it's like a cycle of that. So in March 3rd is the Democratic and Republican primary in most states. And it's my race. Most judges are running. The county clerk is running. And I think she's unopposed. I want to say, I think that's it. I'm not sure because, and then after that in April, is going to be another race for the city council because city council Abby person lady, I can't remember her last name off the top of my head, so forgive me. But she has stepped down and she's running for county attorney, Christian Menifee's position against Judge Audrey Evans. So,
Okay.
yes.
There are a lot of political changes happening, of course. we had redistricting,
Mhm.
and that changed the zoning and where people are voting and different things like that. And that's going on across the country in many phases.
Mhm.
Jasmine Crockett is,
Mhm.
moving out of her position, or they kind of wiped out her position, and now she's running for Senate. She's very prominent in her short time that she's been there. So I wish her luck. And there's a lot of changes, but there's always been a lot of changes. We're in
Mhm.
the first year of Donald Trump's second presidency. And of course, it may be even more changes before another president gets in there. And we hope we survive all of those particular things. But if history is any judge, we'll survive just fine.
Absolutely.
We'll survive just fine. So, um, my last question is, what are some of the challenges and things you see that if you got in there tomorrow would be some of the first day one things you would want to work on and work to adjust and change, and what would you share with your community that, hey, these are my priorities?
So a couple of things, and this is I want to let people know. You might have heard from the rest, but I'm gonna tell you why I'm the best. We have a couple. Well, let's see. 8 of us are running, and 6 have been in county government before, right? And I feel like if you haven't done it by now, when you gonna do it? You're saying this is what you're gonna do, but you've had ample amount of time to make these things happen in the district clerk's office and around the county. And I'm not sure I see that as happening. And then it's me that is a professional, seasoned manager, IT manager, education manager, nonprofit, et cetera, community leader manager. And then another young candidate who's just out of college. So he hadn't really managed anybody. but but what I would tackle, which is what I mentioned earlier, the customer service, right? Making sure we have a pleasant disposition when we're interacting with the public and people leave with a sense of that they've been helped in a better sense than when they came in. Next, so that might be number 2. Number 1 is technology. So updating the systems, a lot of times government systems are not as advanced and up to date as the private sector. But we want to try to get that happening as soon as possible. And people mention, well, we don't have the money, but Harris County is one of the richest counties in the United States. So don't let that fool you, okay? Don't let these people fool you. That money's somewhere. And I get in, we're going to find it and make sure that we turn the district clerk's office and catch up with the county clerk, right? I've heard some great things about that the county clerk has been doing with technology, and we want to catch up with that. And in addition, I mentioned about accessibility. One of my things is making sure or creating an app, right? So you've heard it here first. Nobody has said that, any of my competitors. So we want to use data as well as technology to make sure that things are running efficiently in the district clerk's office. Next is the customer service, like I mentioned, and then lastly is the accessibility. So again, making sure people understand and know what's going on in the district clerk's office, and they don't always have to come to the district clerk's office downtown. People can't get there a lot of times, or I can't afford that, So I want to go out into the community. So I've always been in the community. I've worked in the community. I've advocated for people. So that wouldn't be anything new because I've already done it and I'm doing it right now. November I had a canned good drive. December I had a toy drive. This month I'm having a coat warm clothing drive. So I've been there for all of the people, right? And so that's nothing new. And in addition to accessibility physically, want to make sure that it's accessible with language. So we have a melting pot here in Harris County, and one thing I think that most people are proud of and really enjoy that it's various backgrounds and cultures here. And so we want to make sure, well, we might not be able to conquer or address all, because many languages have different dialects or whatever, but try to do the best we can in servicing people in their language, perhaps, or making it a crossover where it's their language and in English, and then also with accessibility, of course, making sure we're ADA compliant.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I want to give a disclaimer. I am and have been a precinct judge, probably for about 3 years now. So every election, I'm out there at the polls working.
Okay.
I work probably mostly in the Pearland area, but according to where the election headquarters needs me to be, I participate, and I have a team out there. So I'm a part of the election apparatus.
All right.
And yes, ma'am. So that is all our information. I would like for you to give a final campaign word that you would like to give, and then share with our audience any way they can contact you and ask more questions.
Okay, awesome. Well, again, I think I've given some great, compelling opportunities and arguments of why I am the best candidate for the job. Again, just loving people and want to see people excel and do the best that they can do. Again, I've been in the shoes of people as a pro se litigant, and then also as one who has been represented by an attorney. So I know both sides. I know what it is to have some money. I know what it is that may not be able to have some or afford that, and how frustrating it may or may not be. I also am a great people manager. I have experience in working with lots of people, over 250 through almost 500 folks. So I am able to do that effectively and efficiently with care, right? So that goes back to our mental health thing. We want to make sure that we're taking care of our people, right? And once we do that, because that's a trickle down effect. So I'm glad I just mentioned that. When you're treating people right, most time, and they're not overworked because there's a backlog, so that goes with that technology. We want to make sure that it's not a backlog. So is that hiring more people? Is that training them to do, understand things more? And then when they're able to have a better grasp on their work situation, then they can help you better. They're gonna have a pleasant disposition. They're not gonna feel bogged down. That's my thought. When I get in there, I'll be able to further assess it. But check me out. I can be reached at donnaglover.com, 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 and Facebook and Instagram at Donna G for HCDC. And TikTok is Donna.Glover for HCDC. So we're on most of the platforms, the X. I don't do much food with them anymore. That's a personal, boycott. And more people need to do that.
Yes,
but
ma'am.
please vote for me, Donna G. I'm number 3 on the ballot.
Donna G, number 3. Yes, ma'am. And we have enjoyed our conversation with you. And I just want to give a shout out to some of the things I got upcoming. On Tuesday, we're going to continue our political series with Dr. Letitia Plummer. Thursday, Source Seeker Hour, which is my current events podcast, we'll be talking about the history of real estate. And as you know, if you listened to me before, we do 3 podcasts. We're all over talking about all the things that are happening. And I thank you, and always check me out. I'm Baruti Carl Alexander. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
And my birthday is this week, you guys. So I turn.
Her birthday is next week. Number 3
coming up. So y'all check my website. I have 5 days of 50 going on.
Yes, ma'am. Everybody, we'll see you. Say bye to Donna. We thank you.
Bye.